Hey everyone, I just got back from out of state, and it just struck me how much there is to do. And actually, it got me thinking about when I went on a trip last year, that there was this video I made, and I never released it. And actually, Linkara shot it because it was on his camera. The story was that Linkara was doing like a vlog of his entire trip through the Chicago Comic Convention because we had gone there. And it was a really fun time, don't get me wrong, but this video was, I started asking, I was like, did we ever put this video up? Like, did you do it or did I do it? I can't remember, my memory. So he's like, no, man, I never looked at this thing. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, send it over. So this was not that long ago. So I started looking over this footage, and it's bad. They got this whole story that kind of goes along. I don't think I've ever talked about the comic convention, but here goes. So we go to this thing. We weren't really guests. We just kind of showed up. And so Linkara, when he's kind of in his official mode as a representative of Channel Awesome, he's always wearing his armor, And I decided to go to this convention dressed as Dr. Insano, which was not a good move. For a lot of reasons, okay. The first thing was it was hot. Chicago is always so much hotter than I expected to be. We even went kind of late in the year, yeah. But it was probably just because I was in an enclosed space with like 4,000 nerds, And so wearing a lab coat, wearing the whole Dr. Insano getup was not a good move. The lab coat's not that heavy. I would have been hot in a t-shirt and jeans, but running around doing all that stuff and keeping that level of energy up because I was staying in character. I don't know why. Seriously, I was kind of following Linkara around, vowing to destroy him all over the place while he was looking at comics. It seemed like a good idea at the time. I don't know. But, I was kind of running around doing the Dr. Insano thing, and most people thought I was Dr. Horrible, but, whatever. I actually did have a few people recognize me as Dr. Insano, which was kind of cool. In fact, one person said, I actually had a fan from the website say that I was the best Dr. Insano cosplayer that she'd ever seen. And so it always struck me as strange because she recognized Linkara right away. And so she's probably watching this right now, so I know who you are. She's probably embarrassed right now, but anyway. Linkara was like, he was kind of dragging me around by the nose. Not that I minded so much, because when you're at a comic convention and you're not really heavy into comics, it's good to have a tour guide to tell you like who these things, who these people are, where these places are. So he had this huge list of all these artists he wanted to see. So he was running around all over the place, like Artist Alley or whatever you call it, getting pictures, getting comics. And you can't take Linkara to a comic shop because he'll buy half of it. He's that kind of guy. But, so I kind of bought that's where I bought the Black Lantern shirt. He actually gave me a ring, the Black Lantern ring. I actually didn't buy a bunch there. There was an independent artist. I bought a magazine called I think it's Evil Scientist Quarterly. I got that, but I was kind of a bad customer. I could have bought I did. At the Avatar press stand, I bought a ton of Warren Ellis comics because he's my favorite author, and I met I think his name is Mike Wolfer, the artist for most of the Gravel series. Really cool time, but I'm getting to the end of the story. I'm hurrying along. There was a lot of celebrities there, actually a ton of celebrities. I was actually really excited to meet the Chicago Ghostbusters. Just a bunch of great guys with really authentic looking. They're probably replicas at this point. These guys are hardcore fans, and they look awesome. And so when you see the Ghostbusters popping around, you just kind of want to hang out with them. And you're just like, what's it like? Like, can I have one of those suits? And they're like, yeah, it costs a ton of money, but yeah. And they have business cards. I think I still have the business card. I should call these guys, have them show up. I could book them for appearances or something like that. That'd be awesome. But okay, celebrities, ton of celebrities. Probably the most prominent of the celebrity tables, kind of section off to their own side, was the Battlestar Galactica stars from the TV show. And actually, I believe they had some of the stars from the original series. I didn't see them because they were out, but Linkara had this way of kind of navigating to the head of the line and talking to these stars, and I thought we were going to get in trouble, man. We shouldn't be talking to these guys. I kind of thought they'd want to chase us off, because like if you're not paying for an autograph, you got to get the fuck out of here. But no, Linkara's talking to the guy who played Colonel Ty. I don't remember his name. I don't actually watch the show that much. He's asking, like, Caprica was coming out in like a week, so he's like, are you in the new Caprica? What do you know? And the guy's all of these guys were much nicer than I would have been. I would have been like, "Be gone, peasant!" So, are you gonna pay for an autograph? And so the reason there wasn't much of a line for these guys was that probably the first day they got most of the hardcore fans out of the way. But if you don't know, a lot of these celebrities charge like upward any from like $20 to $50 for an autograph. And you got to buy like one of their press photos. If you want a posed photo, like if you want to have a photo where you like got your arm around this guy, you got to pay a ton of money because they don't like people touching them. I wouldn't. I wouldn't either. But at first you kind of put off by this, like $50 for a photo. And I still regret not getting a photo taken of Edward James Olmos because I hate Battlestar Galactica, but he is like the shining beacon of greatness in that show. I still wish I had gotten a picture of him as Gaff signed. It was great. But yeah, awesome guys. Really cool people. I believe Boomer was there. I didn't see Boomer. Trisha Helfer wasn't there. I believe some of the... I think the old Starbuck was there. I think Buck Rogers. Some of the stars of Buck Rogers were there. Which, I was the only guy geeking out over that stuff. I was like, Buck Rogers, woo! Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters was there. That's why I was thinking of the Ghostbusters. Lori Petty from Tank Girl was there, and Linkara kind of got rebuffed by her. She was kind of coming back from lunch, I think. And Linkara was like, I loved you in Tank Girl! And she's like, yeah, whatever. A lot of... oh, geez, who else was there? It's all going to come back to me. A lot of wrestling stars. Actually, the thing I remember most was wrestling stars having like a huge section of space for them. Like almost all the ladies of TNA were there. No, I did not go up and torment them because I wasn't watching Impact at that point. I was done with Impact back then. It was like a year, it was like 6 to 8 months before I started watching Impact again. But yeah. Tara was there. She had just joined TNA. I think most of the beautiful people were there. The $1 Million Man and Virgil were there. I said hi to them. I should have gotten a picture taken with Virgil. I was like, I'm a fan. Virgil, woo! Oh, man, I know this one. Rowdy Piper was there, and I'm going to get back to him. But I remember seeing Jerry the King Lawler there. And... I had never seen a guy who looked less happy to be at a convention than Jerry Lawler, and I know why. I bash on wrestling a lot, and I might sometimes say these guys don't work hard, but man, these guys work their asses off, and they travel upwards of like 300 days a year. Like one trip a year wipes me out for a week. These guys, they travel all over the country, all over the world, really. And then they go wrestle, and then they go do it again. Like, no rest for these people. So Jerry Lawler, it just looked like the road was owning him that day. He was just head down, face down, like, I hate this fucking place. I hate these fucking nerds. What's your name? No, yeah, whatever. Jerry Lawler did not look happy. He's the kind of guy who, you can tell he saves his energy for the camera. Like, when the camera comes on, he's like, puppies, puppies! When the camera's off, he's like, I need coffee. So, getting to the end of the story. So, there was a bunch of other celebrities there, like Michelle Rodriguez and Kristanna Loken. And the reason we were there in Chicago in the first place was to shoot the Alone in the Dark review. Actually, we didn't know what movie we were going to do. We knew we were going to do an Uwe Boll movie, but so I brought like every Uwe Boll movie I had, because Doug knew that I was the geek who had like all these movies. So I brought all of them. So we were actually still talking about which one we wanted to do. Like Doug was like, okay, which one's the worst? Which one's the funniest? Which one would lend itself? So, obvious question. So I was actually kind of hoping for Blood Rain. The one I wanted was House of the Dead. Not that I minded any of these movies. They were all great movies. I think we had a really fun review. But if I had a personal preference, like 1/100%, I probably would have gone to Blood Rain or House of the Dead. House of the Dead to me is hilarious. But we saw Kristanna Loken there, signing autographs, looking great. And I kind of joked to Linkara and Mike Machado, who was there with us. I was like, I should try to get an interview with Kristanna Loken because she was in Blood Rain and nobody else knew this. And they're like, really? And Machado was like, do it. I was like, what? He goes, do it. I was like, I can't just walk up and talk to Kristanna Loken and ask her for an interview. I'm dressed like a fucking mad scientist. He's like, do it, pussy. And I'm like, I'll do it. fuck you, I'll do it. Pussy. So they're like, do it, it'll be funny. And it's like, what if we do Blood Rain? This would be a great bit where I was already thinking of bits I could do where I was doing an interview with Kristanna and we cut to this thing during the review. So I'd be busting on Blood Rain and be like, oh yeah, well watch this, and we cut to me interviewing Kristanna Loken. So I'm like, I'm kind of pacing back and forth 10 minutes. They're calling me a pussy, and I'm like, I'm not a pussy. Shut up. I could do it. I'll interview anyone I want. So eventually they kind of browbeat me. They question the size of my balls, and so I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'll ask her. She's going to say no anyway. So I don't go up to her. I go up to her manager, who kind of looks like her mom. But so I was like, I'm with this website called thatguywiththeglasses.com. We like to interview I'm sorry, we don't like to interview. We like to review movies. And Kristanna Loken's kind of an icon of sci-fi fantasy lately, especially since she was in Blood Rain and movies like that. And we thought it'd be kind of cool if we interviewed her. So I had this whole speech kind of rehearsed in my head, and it probably didn't come out nearly as well as I just said it. But I expected the manager to just kind of be like, no, security, So I kind of do this speech where I'm like, okay, we're with this website. Could we interview her? And the manager goes, that sounds like a fun idea. Hang on, I'll ask. And I'm like, oh my God, no. And so, like, a minute passes, and I see her talking to Kristanna, and like, Kristanna's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh shit, she said yes. And so she comes back and she says, that's a cool idea. Yeah, she's down with that. Where do you want to do this thing? And I'm like, oh shit. I don't know what to do. So I'm kind of panicking right now. I'm like, well, we got to get away from this noise because this place is loud, like really loud. Everyone's talking and everyone's playing video games and running around yelling like Tusken Raiders, dressed like Tusken Raiders, doing this stuff. And I'm like, we got to, I'm trying to do an inventory now of what we got. What can I do here? So, first thing, I'm like, we got to get away from this crowd as much as possible. So, like, we go to this corner, and the first thing you'll see as we do this interview is, like, we're in front of this white cinder block wall. It looks like we're shooting inside a Turkish prison or something like that. So that's the first problem. The lighting is bad. The scenery, it's a white wall, So it's so unphotogenic for doing an interview. That's the first thing. The second thing is I got nothing. I have no questions to ask this woman. I was not expecting to do an interview. I've never done an interview, not with like a movie star. Okay, it was Blood Rain, but still, she was in a movie, which is more than I could say. She actually has some stroke here. So I'm kind of freaking out. I'm trying to like run in my head, like I don't have any paper, I don't have any pencil, nothing. So I'm like, I gotta think of questions to ask that don't make me seem like a total asshole. But I'm already thinking like it's too late because here I am dressed like Dr. fucking Insano, and I'm asking for an interview with like a celebrity, right? So can you imagine going up to a star dressed like a fucking idiot? I mean, like, can we interview you for our stupid website that you've never heard of? Not that I'm not saying that guy with the glasses is stupid. I'm just saying like she's never heard of this site, okay? Like I'm dressed like a mad scientist, so she's like, for all she knows, I'm some guy with a GeoCities account. Like, can I talk to you for a day? So, but she's down with it. Surprisingly, she's down with it. And I felt so bad, even after like days after this. I'm talking to Linkara. I'm like, do you think Kristanna Loken hated us? Because I was dressed like a mad scientist. I was such a dork. I don't know why. First, all of a sudden, I was like, I went from like hating Kristanna Loken to feeling really, really bad that she didn't like me. Mostly because I felt just so embarrassed. And I was like, how embarrassed must she be talking to me? Just this Dr. Insano guy. So I was like, I really wanted to go back to like the hotel room and change at least to like a t-shirt and jeans to where I'm not looking like a total idiot. And so I think Linkara, it wasn't hard, but Linkara kind of sensed my trepidation here. So we've got like 5 minutes while she gets ready because she's at the tail end of her autograph signing and she's gonna do this thing. And so Linkara actually I think he sees me pacing back and forth thinking like I'm gonna cause some shit. Like I must have had this mischievous look on my face like I'm gonna fuck this up. Fuck that Kristanna Loken. And so Linkara pulls me aside. He's like, okay, dude, I know you've done these reviews of Uwe Boll movies, but this is real, okay? He's like, he's like, Spoony, this is real, okay? She's actually a celebrity, and I don't know how you did this, but she's going to talk to us now. So, and he's like, don't fuck this up. Like, we're going to get thrown out of here. Don't fuck it up. So I'm like, what? Me? He's like, yeah, you. It's like, well, why would I antagonize the star of one of the most painful fucking video game movies? He's Spoony. I'm like, all right. He's like, you let me do the talking. He was actually kind of getting hostile. He's like, Spoony, you let me do the talking. I don't want you screwing this up. And I'm like, all right, maestro, you handle this. Because actually, probably a smart. Like at the time, I was thinking of questions. Like, what are you doing now? So I was like, if you got if you got this handled, if you think you got this covered, please, then do this thing. So. So I'm going to show you some of the interview that happened here, and so with a few caveats. The first thing is I cut the hell out of this thing. It was probably about 10 minutes long, and I'm going to cut a lot of it. Mostly because I was really afraid the sound quality was going to be a nightmare bad, because if you're going to do an interview, you want to do it in a much different location, one without like 4,000 people screaming and as ambient sound. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but it is still really bad. There's a lot of ambient sound. We can barely hear each other. It's actually, I think, almost better on the camera than it was in real life, because I couldn't hear shit. So there was all this ambient noise. The background is terrible. I'm dressed like a clown. I'm probably going to cut this out, but like every 90 seconds or so, there was this asshole on the PA system, and I still remember what he was saying. Not exactly, but he's like, "Attention gamers! He's like, attention wrestling fans and gamers! In 20 minutes, we will be holding the WWE SmackDown 2009 video game tournament, and you can play against Rowdy Roddy Piper." And he's like, go to the concourse and play Rowdy Roddy Piper. And so, like, every 2 minutes or so, just like, Rowdy Roddy Piper. And so, whenever this guy did this thing, we couldn't hear. We just had to stop and just kind of look around. Like, are you done yet? Like, I don't want to. I so didn't want to see Rowdy Roddy Piper at that one. Like, fuck that guy. But yeah, we had to stop asking questions. She had to stop answering questions. This whole thing until the announcement stopped. It was the worst possible location we could have chosen. I felt so bad that I was doing this to this actress. She has dignity, at least. I was like, there's a mad scientist interview. I keep going on about this, but yeah. I'm going to show you some of this interview. Please don't judge me too harshly. It was my first ever celebrity interview with zero prep time. Man, just watch. Hi, this is Noah Antweiler from ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, and this is my partner in crime, Louis Lovehawk, a.k.a. Linkara, the comics critic. And we are here with the lovely and most talented Kristanna Loken, star of such movies as Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. But we're here to talk to her about some other movies we're reviewing, namely Blood Rain and In the Name of the King and Dungeon Siege Tale. So, Linkara, if you'd like to start.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to ask, how are you?
Doing very well, thank you.
All right, what are you up to these days?
I've got 4 movies coming out.
Wow.
I've got a comedy called The Legend of Awesomeness Maximus. I've got a film about the genocide happening in Darfur. I've got a film that's going to be on the Lifetime Network called Red Rope. It's a mystery. And I've got a film that's kind of like a Sin City called Tribes of October.
Well, then the first question I got to ask, what was it like working with director Uwe Ball?
So you guys are Ball fans, huh?
In a way. In a way.
Yeah? In what way?
We're not.
Right there, busted. This is where I love this story, okay? Because Kristanna Loken, she knows she's in trouble, okay? She's not stupid. She sees these 2 clowns from a website, and we immediately go to the Uwe Boll thing, right? Because we're like, oh, Blood Rain. We got these big grins on our faces, like, Blood Rain, Alone in the Dark, fucking Dungeon Siege. And she immediately knows, she smells something's up, because this is probably not her first rodeo, okay? Like, I bet there's been other guys at conventions being like, Blood Rain sucked, yo. So we immediately, I think I was the one who immediately started asking questions like about Blood Rain and Uva Bowl. And so she asked this question, she's like, oh, you guys are Bowl fans, right? And bam, cut to Linkara, who's got nothing. Nothing! You can see this, deer in headlights look. He's like, oh shit. She brought it up. Like, I don't know what he was expecting, because I already kind of had lines churning in my head to kind of deflect the attention away, because I kind of figured she would start to catch on. But she goes, you guys are Bull fans, right? Linkara's like, well, there's a lot of people don't like him, and just watch. You'll see him start to backpedal like crazy. It's beautiful. It's really awesome.
I'm sure he means well. He's one of the more notorious directors out there, and we're trying to understand why.
He was really trying not to fuck this up, like, not, because you figured, like, if he was like, oh, we think Dr. Bowl is a fucking moron, like, what were you thinking? She'd walk, right? So what do you say? Like, she knows that we don't like Uva Bowl, but he can't go and say that, because what is he going to say? Like, yeah, we're pretty much doing this interview to humiliate you and like berate you for being in these shitty Uva Bowl movies. So let's ask you questions, like, let's just shit on your career. And that's kind of what we were doing. But we have to have some kind of at least pretense of professionalism. But Linkara, he had nothing, man. He was like, well, he said there's a thing with we're not big fans, but and I saved him. Okay, you got to give me this. Okay, I stepped in. I was like the guy riding in on a white horse, and I saved him, because I think at some point I say, well, he's one of the world's most controversial directors out there, and he definitely raised a lot of controversy. He's definitely one of the most unique voices. I think I use a lot of words that kind of mask the downside of this guy, like controversial, unique, outspoken, things like that. So I try to deflect it as much as possible, saying like, he definitely raises a lot of heated emotions in people, and we just wanted to know what you thought about that. And you could tell, like, I was like, so this guy, like, I had you, man. He's like, don't fuck this up, Spoony. I saved your ass, okay? Yeah, but even at the end, after we were kind of done, she kind of goes back, and she smelled weakness in this guy just for this one topic, And he owes me, okay? But that was a rough one.
Because he actually has a very unique perspective on a lot of things, and so we'd like to see what your perspective on the director is. Like, what kind of direction were you given? Did you like working with Dr. Bowl, or any impressions you have?
I like to call him crazy brilliant, and he does have a real method to his madness. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He's very loyal, and he puts out more films a year than pretty much any director there is.
Right.
So I really, he doesn't give a hell of a lot of direction. So you really have to be on your own A game. I think, like any of us, as we grow and mature in our talent and in our craft, you get better and better. And I think this film's really keep improving.
Definitely. I understand that was shot on location, I believe, in Romania or something like that. Was that particularly difficult? So was there like a language barrier or any particular challenge in that area?
There was a massive communication problem. I mean, the Romanian language is so different from English, and not a lot of people speak English there. Most of us came home with dogs, because there's a massive street dog problem. So I still have Bobby, who's now 5. Michelle, you should interview Michelle.
Oh.
She was in the movie with me.
Right.
She brought back a cat. Uva brought back a dog. Michael Madsen brought back a dog. Another one of the producers brought back a dog.
I loved hearing about the Romanian shoot for Blood Rain, because I would have loved to have been on the set for that as a grip or something like that, just to watch the fucked up stuff that was going on here. I had never heard the story about the stray dogs and the cats, which were apparently a real problem back then. I do know some stories that I've heard on the commentaries. And by the way, I've probably mentioned this before, but if you watch an Uwe Boll movie, listen to the commentary. It's like you will rarely get as good a value on a DVD as an Uwe Boll movie, because not only is the movie hilarious, the commentary is like a whole other movie. It's great. But, pardon me, the story that you'd hear on the DVD for Blood Rain, at least, is there's a scene where Rain goes and encounters Meatloaf, who plays like this pimp vampire. And he's got this whole harem of chicks that are prostitutes. And so Uwe tells you that instead of hiring extras who you have to pay scale, it costs a lot of money, he hired Romanian prostitutes to play the prostitutes. So he calls up this pimp and gets all these prostitutes, fills his film with them, and just tells them to act naturally. And it works great because he has to pay them comparatively less than an actor would charge, in Romanian terms, and has them do what they want to. And conceivably, anyone who wants to break off a piece can I don't know. I'm not saying, but yeah, was that not brilliant? Like, you can see the wheels turning in Uwe's head sometimes, where he's like, I got this. I need like 30 whores. I could fly in 30 extras, or I could just walk down the street. You want to be in a movie, baby? So yeah, Hungarian prostitutes and stray dogs. Wow.
I'm doing the 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Because one of the questions I was going to ask was, were you asked to do the sequel?
Look how excited he is.
I was just blown away, right? I was actually thinking of my next question in regards to Dungeon Siege.
Now, at the risk of making Linkara look bad and making myself look really good, I think you can tell it's pretty early on that I'm kissing her ass. Like, really blatantly and shamelessly kissing her ass. I call her, she's beautiful and she's talented and she's in movies. And I'm really, I was really worried that I was pissing her off, right? I had no balls. None whatsoever. Like, if I had any balls, I'd have been like, yeah, we hate Uwe Boll and we like piss on his movies and stuff like that, asking really hard questions. But I was really trying to be diplomatic here, really trying my best not to make this woman walk off, because I thought we might actually be able to use this. We couldn't use this, not at all. But there was I'm trying to think of other things that happened during the course of this thing. We couldn't hear anything. So there was a couple of moments where I actually thought she was mad at me, where we were talking about the sequel. Linkara asked her about Blood Rain 2. And she said, I'm in the 3rd one. And she looks at me and she goes, she says something like, look how happy he is about that. Because I got this look on my face like, I couldn't hear what she said. I couldn't hear about 3/4 of the stuff she said, because there was so much noise going on. She said, I'm in the 3rd one, right? I heard, Then she looks at me and goes, yeah, look at him. He's real happy about that. And I'm like, I said something bullshit like, I'm just blown away. Which probably I could have done worse, but I was like, I had no idea. Like I had to watch this tape to know what she was talking about. I asked Linkara, what did she say? She's like, he's like, I don't know. But if there's a 3rd Blood Rain movie, gotta check that out. I have not seen the Darfur movie that she was talking about. I've seen one called Tunnel Rats, which is more a Vietnam movie. But, actually, she's right in several respects that he actually has grown a lot as a filmmaker. He's improved a great deal. I know, it seems weird, but he has. And actually, that's probably the worst thing to ever happen to the guy, is that he's actually gotten better at his trade. Even in terms of writing, he still sucks. I'm not saying that he doesn't still suck. What I'm saying is, all the stuff that I used to make fun of in like House of the Dead, All Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, stuff like that made his movies so funny, like very Ed Woody funny type things, like just elementary stuff, like how the hell do you fuck this stuff up? He's not fucking that stuff up anymore. So instead of being hilariously bad, he's just kind of boring. So that was actually why I was saying, like, some of his latest movies, like Postal, which I hated still, but Tunnel Rats, which I thought was boring as hell, are still not nearly as bad as his early work, because he has evolved a great deal as a director. I don't know.
But you also got the chance to work with a lot of really famous actors. That sounds kind of silly, but like legends of the screen, like Ben Kingsley in Blood Rain, and Burt Reynolds in Dungeon Siege, and things like that. Did you have any particular experiences with them, or did you interact with them much?
Sir Ben, as he likes to be called, was awesome to work with.
I bet.
It was, the fact that he played my father was just a really great experience, and we look so much alike. You can really see the genetic similarities.
More hair.
But he remained a friend and an acquaintance, and as far as In the Name of the King goes, I didn't have any scenes with Bert. I only kind of met him in passing.
Yeah, you were one of the elves.
Yes, tree nymphs, whatever, 6-foot Tinkerbell, I don't know how you call it. But it was nice to work with Jason. He takes his work very seriously, and I really enjoyed Lily. She was a great person.
Any particular favorite moments of either film?
Romania was just a crazy experience. The whole movie, basically, since it's a vampire film, is shot at night. So essentially, you start really feeling like a vampire because your days are your nights, so to speak. And we would travel from city to city in the Transylvania mountains, and we really felt like a traveling circus because we'd shoot for a few days in one town, pick up, move, shoot in another town for a few days. It was a really cool experience.
It was probably really physically demanding because of all the fight scenes and sword fighting and that. Did you have any special training in that area?
Absolutely. We had a lot of sword and fight work that we had to do, and a lot of choreography that goes along with that had to be learned. The weapons were
Unorthodox?
They were very difficult. Yeah, they were actually very hard to use because they were uneven in weight.
Unbalanced, yeah.
And so this time around, now it's the 1940s, and we're going to be killing Nazis, like the game.
All right. That was actually one of my bigger complaints against the movie, was that it kind of dispensed with the backstory of the video game.
It was a prequel.
And it was, yeah, right. And so that actually I thought might have confused viewers at first, who were expecting something like the game and instead got something that was very dissimilar.
Again, I think Master Ball had this all in his crazy head of his.
Yeah.
But we're going to have different weapons this time. We're just now conceptualizing the idea. So, and we're going to use guns this time as well. I'm going to get to ride a little bit more, I think. I'm an equestrian, so I try to work in horses as much as I can.
Last question for me. Don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Were you asked to do the sequel?
Yes, I was. I couldn't do it because I was doing Painkiller Jane.
Would you have if you weren't doing Painkiller Jane?
I don't know. I was thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see two, but I've never done a Western. I kind of like, even though this was kind of a pseudo-Western, I think that would have been fun again. There were horses involved. I'm an equestrian, so.
All right, that's all the questions we have. Thank you so much for talking to us about those. Thank you very much.
Yep.
So yeah, what you just saw is pretty much a step-by-step checklist of what not to do when interviewing a celebrity. Location, sound, not dressing like an idiot, being in a condition where you're actually able to conduct a coherent interview, like not suffering from heat stroke, not dressed like a moron, having a good voice that people can hear, being prepared with questions. I actually thought we didn't do that badly, having absolutely no prep time, and initially entering this as kind of a joke. I thought we conducted a somewhat serious interview. The questions probably could have been better on my part, but I thought we managed to relatively avoid humiliation given the setup. And for what it's worth, Kristanna Loken was game for this kind of thing. She's probably done worse. In fact, I know she's done worse. She's done Dungeon Siege, but yeah, she actually managed to maintain her dignity, I think, far better than we did. I thought we asked her a lot more about Terminator 3. I really wanted to get away from Uwe Boll fairly quickly. I know we talked about Blood Rain, but I actually wanted to talk about what it was like working on. About what it was like working on Terminator 3, because she's one of the Terminators. That's kind of a historical precedent to set. That was far bigger news to me than Dungeon Siege or something like that. But we kind of wanted to stay on topic because we were there to do an Uwe Boll movie. But yeah, as soon as we brought up Uwe Boll, she knew something was up. You know, she knew we were not exactly, because there's probably one interview in 1,000 that ever comes off as being like supportive of Uwe Boll. I remember, what was it? When he was doing the Raging Bull thing, when he was boxing some of the critics, they managed to find like one website where there were these two hosts that, like, Uwe sat down for lunch with them and did this interview, and they loved him, like loved him. And I think might have been Alone in the Dark, actually. Probably the re-released director's cut of Alone in the Dark, which he actually did another commentary track for, which I thought was really funny. But yeah, I mean, barring that 1 in 1,000 interview, I don't think you had to be that wise to, as soon as Uwe Boll gets mentioned, being like, oh, another group of these guys. But that's pretty much all I have. I hope you don't judge me too harshly. There's a reason I didn't release this up until now. I actually do think it makes me look pretty bad, but it is probably my first major exposure to any kind of celebrity. You know, so that's something. I talked to the star of Terminator 3. Come on. Could have been worse, and, you know, she agreed to be on camera with the Spoony one, so, you know, I'm getting more political stroke. It's only a matter of time before I'm in, like, Terminator 5. Right? No? Okay. I would like to thank, who is there? Linkara for basically letting me drag him through the mud for this entire thing, for doing the vlog. I might actually see if he wants to release the vlog, because it is pretty interesting. The sound quality, not nearly as bad. I remember we were walking through the convention going, I was kind of doom-saying the whole thing, like, you are not going to hear anything during this entire thing. He's like, I'm going to do this anyway, I'm going to do it. So we actually got some pretty good footage out of that. It is kind of very guerrilla, very Blair Witchy, like shaky running through it, because it's very crowded, very noisy, lighting's not great. But it is fun watching Linkara run around a comic convention. You know, that's what he's there for, that's what he does. So, you know, aside from the one deer in headlights moment, I think Linkara was very composed, and thank him for using his camera. Mike Michaud and Bargo for shooting the thing in not very good conditions. I'd like to thank Kristanna Loken and her manager for suffering through this thing with us and actually putting on a relatively dignified interview, given the circumstances. But hey, I'm going to get back to work. I've got tons to do, and you'll probably hear more. You'll probably hear the full story very soon. So until next time, have fun, guys. Excelsior.
Thank you so much.
So I hope I shed some light on Uwe, Mr. Crazy Brilliant. What are you going to have to say about it?
We're not sure yet. I haven't actually watched the movie yet, but I can't be certain if it's going to be... Actually, I've met lots of people who actually didn't like it and thought it was actually his best work. Other people have much more negative things to say about it, but most of the time, most of the complaints about it are never against the actor. I have nothing against you. I have nothing against anybody. I don't have anything against anybody. But I hear his directing style and his choice for screenplays is iffy at best.